Eggs are a high commodity in the United States right now, and keeping them in stock is getting incredibly difficult and extremely expensive. Prices have exploded since November, and especially over the last few weeks, and that's after rising more than 40% between 2020 and 2022. Shortages are becoming a major concern amongst retailers and authorities because millions of Americans are currently scrambling with limited availability at stores and record-breaking prices for eggs and food products made with this staple. Several news reports detail that major grocers are keeping egg prices at record prices to slow consumer demand as hen depopulation continues to ramp up due to the growth of bird flu cases in the nation. In December, the average cost of a dozen large eggs was $4.15, up from $3.65 in November, according to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2024. Now, a carton of a dozen eggs is selling for anywhere between $6 and $8 in some regions of the U.S., and many consumers are seeing even higher prices. The Bureau also expects prices of meat and poultry to rise as the threat of avian flu continues to cut production targets. In an exclusive interview with the U.S. Sun, Dr. Jim Keene, the Director of Veterinary Sciences for the Department of Agriculture, provided insight into the egg crisis, which has gradually become the worst in the nation's history. Dr. Keene said, "There is no surprise that there is an egg shortage and subsequent high egg prices. There is simply a mismatch between supply and demand, causing a rise in prices." Dr. Keene warned that the epidemic is only getting worse and is here to stay. He says, "I believe that the H5N1 bird flu virus is now endemic or made itself permanently at home here in the U.S., so that HPAI bird flu is no longer a foreign animal disease, just as the virus previously made itself at home across Asia, Africa, and Europe." On social media, consumers are sharing their latest shopping experiences, exposing ballooning prices and showing empty shelves where eggs normally are. This week, Trader Joe's customers were surprised by a new protocol. The grocer has issued a new policy in an attempt to prevent egg supplies from running out in the first hours of the working day. The chain has begun limiting customers to purchasing a single carton of eggs per day. Signs are being placed near egg cartons where customers are kindly asked to follow the protocol. The company said in a statement, "Due to ongoing issues with the supply of eggs, we're currently limiting customers to one customer per dozen eggs per day. We hope these limits will help to ensure that as many of our customers who need eggs are able to purchase them when they visit Trader Joe's." On Reddit, one Trader Joe customer revealed that in a Chicago store, a dozen large grade A eggs were priced at $7.99, while another commented that eggs in Trader Joe's Charlotte location were $9.09 for 18 units. Similarly, Walmart, Aldi, Lidl, and Whole Foods were forced to restrict the amount of cartons customers can buy at a time to 2 or 3 per person, according to a report by Fox News. Amy McCarthy, a reporter at Eda.com, revealed that eggs were more than $1 each at H Mart. Over the weekend, I headed to 3 different grocery stores in my neighborhood in the Dallas suburbs, and the egg shelves at each were pretty bare. Every store also had its own version of a sign telling customers that the retailer was struggling to source eggs. "We're currently experiencing high demand and supply shortages for eggs," read the sign at Target. "We are actively seeking additional supply." The rapid price increase and decreased supplies at stores are leaving parents like Carolina Nasser struggling to feed their families. She told 7 News, "I went to many places to find the eggs and nothing. You cannot find eggs anywhere. Really, I can't. You can't find it anywhere. It's the most important food you eat. At breakfast, at lunch, anything. You know my kids, they like breakfast eggs. We eat eggs mostly every day," said shopper Lisa Mendeley, "so it has a very strong effect on my everyday diet." Similar to the 2020 toilet paper shortages, some experts claim that people's anxiety and fear of the shortage has caused waves of panic buying. Even in COVID times they had eggs, you know. Now, no eggs. You cannot find them anywhere, said NASA. And double the price. Like if I used to buy it for $6, I'm going to buy it for $13. At Costco, where prices are particularly attractive for eggs, things became very chaotic last week with hundreds of customers rushing to stockpile the item. A video captured by several customers and posted to social media showed shoppers piling their carts to the brim with cartons of 24 eggs. In another flip, customers were seen fighting one another in scenes reminiscent of Black Friday, only instead of prized electronics, the product was poultry. At the Warehouse Club, costs can be as low as $7.53 for 24 eggs. But the skyrocketing consumer demand is causing inventories to run out in a few minutes. One witness who posted a viral video noted how an entire pallet of eggs was completely bare only 10 minutes after being brought out onto the shop floor. Some of those commenting were shocked by the situation. A few users suggested customers may have businesses that required a lot of eggs, while others argued the mass purchases were simply to resell and turn a quick profit. One commenter wrote, "My Costco had a 3-carton limit today. They were running out about noon." They cannot hoard the eggs as they would go bad before they could eat that many, so unless the people own a bakery or restaurant, they won't use those eggs themselves. Chances are they're just reselling them at a higher price, like people try to do with hand sanitizer during the pandemic. Some were charged with crimes for that, explained another. What even is the point of buying that many eggs? This is absurd, stressed another outraged viewer. In a video posted on the social media platform, 2 men were seen brawling in the aisles with one another over the staple food item. Across the country, similar scenarios are unfolding as the crisis becomes more critical. At Waffle House, a reliable source of a cheap breakfast, a 50% egg surcharge became effective this week, and that applies to all of its menus due to the nationwide rise in the cost of eggs. The restaurant's 2-egg breakfast, which comes with toast and a side, was listed at $7.75 on Tuesday. The company said, "While we hope these price fluctuations will be short-lived, we cannot predict how long this shortage will last." In late January, the USDA projected the price of eggs to increase by 25% in 2025, and that's on top of the 43% increase seen between 2019 and December 2022. The cost of meat and poultry is also expected to go up by 12% this year. White House Secretary Caroline Leavitt said, "We have also seen the cost of everything, not just eggs, bacon, groceries, and gasoline have increased due to the inflationary policies of the last administration." Moreover, cases of bird flu have been reported in more than 145 million birds in 618 counties and all 50 states, according to CDC data. Several states, including Texas, have recently reported a resurgence of the virus, which the USDA reported killed about 23 million egg-laying hens between November and January. That accounted for almost 50% of all birds killed by the virus in 2024, the federal department said. If a single chicken in the flock tests positive for avian flu, the entire flock must be slaughtered due to safety concerns. This means it's not just eggs at stake, it's the livelihoods of thousands of farmers and ranchers. Emily Metz, president and CEO of the American Egg Board, highlighted during an interview with Newsweek that the highly pathogenic avian influenza, HPAI, is absolutely devastating to those farmers. These birds are their livelihoods. Tight supply and high demand are directly causing the spike in wholesale prices we've seen recently, as well as intermittent shortages of eggs at some retail locations. Although each retailer decides how much they're going to sell eggs for in the store, higher wholesale prices usually impact retail prices, Metz explained. Stephen Dombrowski, Director of Consumer Markets at supply chain solutions company QAD, believes that the crisis will not go away anytime soon, saying, "This could last a bit. These outbreaks take time to resolve and for the impact to filter through all parts of the supply chain. Recovery depends on how quickly the industry can contain the spread, isolate the infected birds, and most importantly get new ones laying eggs again," he noted. In other words, the future depends on farmers and ranchers and how long it takes them to recover their stocks from the avian flu outbreak. The outlook for the rest of this year is not reassuring. The USDA forecasts egg production going down in 2025, reflecting a smaller laying flock as a result of losses to HPAI as well as lower lay rates. Food industry experts say that even in the best-case scenario, without any further bird flu losses, it may take over 9 months for the replacement hens to produce eggs that make it to grocery store shelves, as explained by Matt Sutton-Vermeulen, principal in the agriculture and food practice at Kearney, a global strategy and management consulting firm. Only in the past 2 weeks, 14 million birds have been lost. So prices could continue to rise in the next 12 months due to the persistence of the virus and the fact that we're seeing outbreaks in facilities from coast to coast and north to south with some of the best state-of-the-art biosecurity systems in place, Sutton-Vermeulen told USA Today. He emphasized it does not look like the virus is going anywhere. The flu is spreading to dairy cows across California and Nevada, which can trigger a nationwide surge in meat prices in the coming weeks and months. Official detection systems have picked up the virus in poultry plants where animals are slaughtered and enter food supply chains. January data shows that 88 commercial flocks have seen positive cases of avian flu, with another 39 outbreaks in backyard flocks. Overall, based on the number of birds present at the locations that registered a positive case, over 21.5 million birds have been impacted. In December, the first human fatality linked to the outbreak was reported in Louisiana. Over the past year, 67 infections were confirmed in humans, according to the CDC. Officials wrote, the H5N1 bird flu has been spreading widely among wild birds, poultry, cows, and other animals. Its growing presence in the environment increases the chances that people will be exposed and potentially catch it. While those working on the inside worry about what could happen to our country, politicians have ordered federal health agencies, including the FDA, CDC, and National Institutes of Health, to indefinitely pause communications with the public. They don't want us to know what is truly going on. That isn't only going to make it harder for people to understand the risks and the spread of the bird flu, but it will keep everyone in the dark about the true depth of this crisis. This is a sign something really somber is behind the covers, and the situation is going out of their control. Whatever happens next is not going to be good. We're on the cusp of a crisis unlike no other. What are your thoughts on this subject? We look forward to reading your comments. Please subscribe, and here's to the next report from Epic Economist.